Welcome to my channel. My name is Valerio and today we're going to do a review that is a tiny bit different than usual. So let's start with this. This is an SMP, a model kit by Bandai, a super mini plat, and the guy on the picture, if he looks familiar, it is because this is the Voltes 5 Legacy version, which is a new TV show that they did in the Philippines using the original idea or the original Voltes and updating everything else. Let's keep it at that. Now, there are not that many reinterpretation of Voltes, so I was pretty excited about it. I have a copy, however, we will not review my copy into this particular video, but this is the copy that my friend gave it to me. Why is that? Because he did take a look a bit on the stuff and said, you know, I really don't like the silver, can you paint it for me? And in my head I was like, you know, how bad can it be? By the way, this is a version of the model kit that has the extra accessories like the V, the pin thingy, and all the other weapon, the cannon, and but the core figure is the same, exactly the same with the cheaper version, that is the one that I have now. I think this is around $100, give it or take it, maybe 90. Let's look at the runner, and this is a terrible surprise because I look at them and I say, ah, this is are way worse than the average Bandai HG and whatnot. I'm used to a lot of model kit from Bandai, but this is like lackluster. Let's leave it at that. So I take out everything out of it. The red looks much better in camera under a strong light. Looks pretty cheap. The yellow is the usual, not great yellow. The silver are a couple of plated parts, but on average is terrible. The blue is okay. Actually, the only bit out of it is the blue. Anyway, I hated it. This is a friend, and I thought, okay, well, he asked me for the silver, I will repaint the whole thing, because why not? But since I'm very lazy, I repainted everything on the runner, and now let's restart everything from the beginning. So, welcome to my channel, my name is Valerio, and right now we're gonna review a model kit, and while normally we do what is called like a dry fit kind of review, where there is no paint or anything involved inside of it, in this case we're gonna review the model kit as it has been painted on runner. Now, once in a while I do tutorial. They took a lot of time. If you guys are interested, let me know. This has been, for the majority out of it, other than the primer, this has been hand painted with oils and a bunch of stuff. If you're interested, I'm actually thinking about the idea of starting a pattern, very common in the miniature world, less common within the model making world, other than the great one by Lincoln Wrights. Anyway, well, let me know what you think about it. I don't think I will publish a tutorial out of it, but if you have questions about how to reach it out to get the same finish that I will have at the end of it, please let me know. So, as usual, we look at the runner. If you want to see higher resolution picture, I'm pretty sure Instagram is the best place. However, well, my name on Instagram is Robot di Megalopoli, so same as the title of the channel. Let's look at the runner. So as I was saying, I painted everything on the runner. There is nothing special out of it for the base. However, I did use a combination of a surfacer, a primer, and the primer I did it with airbrush, but you can spray, and actually sprayed would have been a tiny bit better, and then I went over it with at 90% out of it with oils, other than the red. The red is a lacquer because well, I don't know, red is always kind of a hard, it is a hard color to work, and if I did use like cadmium red, it would have taken 3 weeks to dry. So that's it. Everything else that you see, it is all painted. Obviously it doesn't make much sense, but you can kind of guess the runner a bit better. Why do I use oil? I'm very lazy, and oil is fundamentally like painting with the automatic gear. So very easy. The only thing that I didn't paint is the gunmetal, not because I particularly like the gunmetal, but because most of the joints are made out of that runner and we don't want to block the articulation. My friends like to pose his kit, and there's some pre-painted part, but with oils you see they look pretty smooth, I would say. I forgot to repaint something, but you know, the head, so I painted over, and the detail I did it with acrylics. I do have quite a good motor control on my hand, like I have, but this is absolutely achievable. Anyway, so the build is easy. It's very similar. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the gold is a mix of lacquer and oils. So that is maybe the only hard bit out of it. Anyway, so the build is pretty easy. there is no problem. You can totally paint on the runner. There are only a few parts that I would recommend you remove from the runner before, because I found it as I did find it myself, the hands. So there are a ton of stickers, but most of the stickers are onto the first Vault machine, so the tiny jet. I very quickly hand painted them, but there it is. So this is most of the stuff there is inside the box. There are a ton of tiny parts that you can swap, but I don't think they're worthwhile to look. This is the premium version, obviously, so there are more accessories. A bit too many, if you ask me. I'm pretty sure I'm fine with the sword, and I would have liked the V as well, but you can always build it yourself. So ton of weapon, ton of accessories. You know, everybody had their own favorite attack with Voltes. There it is. So these are maybe the only difference with the other kit, with the basic version, that you can swap this part with the perfect transformation one. And if you do, well, there is that. They look a tiny bit cleaner. The perfect transformation one are totally fine. So just a tiny bit of difference out of it. This is the cannon. And now you can start to see a bit the paint job. Ta-da! So you swap it with the arms. This is like the chain ball. I kind of like that it's rigid, and I will put it into a pose one that makes me happy. These are the I don't know, the spinning blades. I can't remember the name, guys. I just have in my mind Beyblades, and I'm sure that's not the name. So we have the hands. The hands maybe are the only one that you actually want to remove out of the runner before painting. How is that? Because they have a conjunction point with the runner in the middle of the hand. There are a ton of hands in the extra version. They're not great, honestly. They are a bit out of proportion with the robot. If you check how the original are, they are a bit bigger than how they're supposed to be. So if you can kind of find it from smaller board, that's okay. This is the only accessory that you will find only on the base version. The silver blade has not been repainted, but everything else it is. And this is the V, by which is a pretty cool special effect of this one. I'm pretty jealous, as I was saying. You can put it with the machines on the top of it, or, you know, special attack by Voltes, on which you will have to use the tiny display stand, and that yet you will see. Now, ta-da! Here the machine. At this point, you can definitely see that they've been painted. Now, the old bit was pretty easy. It's the same as the Voltes SMP, the base version of the Legacy. It has a tiny bit more of detail, but I don't think they're exactly the same part. Now we're gonna look at the machine. As you can see, this was the one with the most amount of stickers, and I very painted it rapidly. So my friend told me, yeah, don't worry, I will repaint it back. Because obviously if you paint everything, you cannot leave the sticker because they look terrible. Honestly, on a real kind of robot design, they don't exactly help. So these are all the Vault machine, which clearly are just the part of the robot. And you see the effect that I give with the oil, give a nice bit shimmering. You can see a bit of the brush stroke in some parts, and there is a very subtle weathering out of it, because I paint for wet on wet, for the one that know what it is. Now, I should have waited longer before touching this kit, and then I will go to do some touch-up, because the only problem with oil is that they take pretty long time to dry. The thicker the oil, the more it takes. And I forgot to put the speeding agent inside the paint, so there is that. Overall, you can see that the size of the robot is pretty considerable, and SMP as a line from Bandai is a bit like all over the place on the size. Sometimes are bigger, sometimes are smaller, sometimes are so. Anyway, I mean, you can see there is a bit of a filter on the colors going on, but it's a very minimal thing, and it's just to balance the whites so that you're not glaring. These are the feet. This is where I forgot to paint the golden trims around the end of the feet. That's just totally, I just find out after looking at the box. Now we're gonna look at our Voltes, and as a first thing, as the brightest among you will for sure find out, is that it doesn't look like the original Voltes. And all the better for it, because first of all, it's pretty imposing. The design is super detailed, to my taste a bit too much, but actually kind of works all together. It has this very big bulk, like looks like a guy that spends a lot of time in the gym. As my only aesthetical problem with it is not with the Voltes redesign, it is with the implementation into the super mini plow of the hands, which are massive. Like, they're not so big into the show. I went to see some images out of it, and now you can see the paint glory that for an altogether 4 hours of painting, So fast? Yes, so fast. 4 hours of painting. I'm pretty happy with the result. Yeah, 4 hours of waiting and 4 days of waiting to kind of have it half dry. Otherwise, you can see that my hand changed color in the while doing it, and it is okay, but kind of. Oh, it's one of the larger SMP, so you can see later into comparison with other robot. Now, articulation is a bit block. It's not bad. It's just that as all the volts, if you want to move the head more, you have to remove the back of the volt machine number 1. Yeah, you have to take it out because it has a backpack and that's it. So you can raise the arm higher than what I'm showing now, but I will show it only in another scene. How is that? Because I wasn't able to activate the joint. Now, bicep swivel, then you can rotate and align arm and bicep. At that point you have the double joint and it's a full closure. And there are not empty space, it's full of details everywhere, which makes me think like, yeah, they did take some care. Now, I'm trying to raise it more, but it can go higher, don't worry. So the panel of the thing don't move too much, and that also on the side there are tiny plug and play places. Now, in order to do the split, you have to first lower the leg, and then it can move. It's not exactly a drop joint as far as I can remember, but it works exactly like a drop joint. Now the knee, as in the other side, double joint, and the detail that I actually show is pretty nice and mechanical. And obviously you can go in detail with other color, but this was like a very, very fast job for a friend, nothing for me, honestly. This was very much a lot of experimentation with how quickly can I have a result that will be okay for me. So that is the fit. On the ankle, it can move. This is exactly the same joint that the other Voltes had on the SMP line, just a ton more of panels. There it is. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention okay, there isn't too much at butterfly joint, as far as I can tell. Tiny bit, yes. There it is. Sorry, pay attention, because it is a combiner, so it can plug. Now ab crunch quite a bit, rotation at the waist, upper and lower bit out of it. No, actually the lower bit I don't remember, maybe not really. And okay, here we are. Articulation one is pretty good. Just remember it is a combiner. Now we're gonna do a very quick comparison. And ta-da, Lego dude, very small, because this voltage is not particularly tiny, so you know, kind of towering, with a terrible reinterpretation or way of a beloved robot, Godric. That was Grandizer U. This is on a better reinterpretation or a beloved robot of Mazinger. This is the Mazinger Zeiss, but very, very small. It is a Moderoid if you're interested into it, and pretty cheap. Now with the robot number 2 or 3 in the Philippines, so they tell me, Deimos. This is with Voltron, Moderoid, a tad taller, like half a centimeter, and this is with the Voltes, the original one from SMP. So the bulk is very different. However, the new Legacy might be a few millimeters taller. Overall, I prefer the newer design, but depends. Obviously with the heart, because it has been better designed, not because it is cooler. It's just overall as a product is better than the other SMP, especially on the joints. Now, a bit different than usual. Well, first, what do you think about this video? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Are you potentially interested to know a pattern to see how did I paint it up so quickly? Yes, no, let me know. Other things, what do I think about this robot? So I quite like it, to be honest. It is a bit too much panel for my taste, but I like most of the proportion other than the hands. The hands are pretty weird, way too big. But overall, this is a very, very, very well done product by Bandai. So the only cons that I can see out of it is really the hands. That's all. And if you follow this channel, it's quite well, the color out of the box, the color are terrible, especially the silver. Can't be look, and this is even the premium version. I'm pretty sure that the base version might also have the running in a different color, a tiny bit less shiny. So but if you paint it, this is a pretty good robot, a pretty good model to have in your collection. Now, do I recommend it? Well, if you are one of my Filipino friends, yes, for sure, especially because, well, holy cow, a bit of national pride going on there. If you're just a fan of Voltes, yes, sure, because there are not that many reinterpretation of Voltes. Actually, this is one of the only two that I know of, and this is the only reinterpretation that actually allow you to combine. So lots of highly recommended as a kit. Are you a model kit builder? Yes, this is quite fun to build, pretty fast, it comes out together, and it transforms in a very nice way, like it doesn't become an hand grenade. So this is the conclusion out of it. On my side, I can say that yes, I do recommend it for the majority of people. The only people that I don't recommend for it are the ones that do want it in diecast. Now, the diecast version will be way less possible, and check on the picture because they are kind of being tailored to make it look like he can raise his arm higher than how it's gonna be, and I found this funny. For everybody else, this is a pretty good kit. So if you're not obsessed with diecast, I highly recommend it. Now, from Valerio, that is everything. Please, guys, follow, like, share the video, obviously, and have an amazing week.